This is an introduction to the learning of word roots, a very quick, efficient means of adding to your vocabulary. If you've ever wondered where words come from, the answer that's most frequently right is that they come from other words. Now, naturally, this doesn't address the reality that somebody had to make up the first words, but that's not what we're concerned about for this lesson. Many of our English words have Greek and Latin roots because the Greeks and Romans spread their language and learning over huge parts of the globe, particularly the Western world, and that's where English-speaking people come from. When we learn these Greek or Latin roots, and some, of course, do come from a handful of other languages, I'm not really particular, we often can unlock the meanings of dozens of other English words, and that's why we're learning word roots. Let's start with a fun example. The word supercilious seems a little daunting, doesn't it? But it isn't daunting at all if you recognize that you can break it down into two parts, super and cilious. And I think we all already know what super means. We use it ourselves, probably without thinking about its meaning, aside from a vague association with things that are wonderful or great. But literally, it means over or above, as in Superman's being over and above other men. So what does cilious mean? Well, we might not recognize cilious, but if we look at it a little carefully, we'll see that the word cilia is very similar. And so we recognize that we've seen this word before in our biology class when we're looking at little organisms that have little hair-like structures that seem to emanate around them. So what we have here with supercilious is little hairs that are over or above something. Yes, that's right. The word supercilious means haughty, conceited, or snobbish. And if you were to picture such a person, he might look like this. Note the raised eyebrow makes him look like a snob, doesn't it? So do you see that the word supercilious literally means raised eyebrow? And the neat thing is that you'll likely not forget the meaning now, and you'll have super and cilia at your disposal to figure out other words. Now, to learn word roots, the best means that I know, the best method that I know of, it includes you're doing several things. First of all, you need to study the meaning of the root itself. So our example here is the meaning of the root anthrop is human. So if we look at some examples of words that if we Google them, some examples of words that use the word root anthrop, we'll find some words like anthropology. And I've heard of anthropology. I think it's a somewhat familiar word. I know it's a course that some people take in college. So I would, at this point, challenge myself to find as many words that use the anthrop root as possible. And I might find anthropoids as an example. And I've also heard Oprah referred to as a philanthropist. And then I look at those words and I say, well, can I figure out the rest of the word, or do I already know what the word means? And what sort of insight does that give me into the word root anthrop? So as a bonus, at the end of my study, I might want to go back and reconsider the word anthropoid. I know anthrop means human. What does oid mean? And I might want to look at philanthropist too and say, now I know anthropist means humanist. And so what does phil mean? And so that's how I think you should study your word roots. That's going to give you a thorough understanding of the root without your having to do a lot of memorizing, which we want to avoid. All right, these are the week 1 word roots. This is also available as a separate PDF document on the course page. You can either pause the video and study them here, or you can go ahead and open that PDF.